As you make your way to the northern end of the map in StarRupture, you'll come across a facility known as the Redleaf Research Facility. Here, there are two different organizations working hand in hand to develop a renewable food resource from a local plant called blood fern. However, as we begin to dig into this facility, we might find out that there is more to both the people stationed here and the plant that they were researching. Let's find out what happened. As you approach the Clever Robotics and Future Health Solutions Research Base, or CRFHSRB for short, you'll notice that the water around the base is a particular red color, unlike water everywhere else on this planet that you've encountered so far. Ignoring the peculiar water for now, we finish approaching the base, and there are two entrances, essentially a front and back door. I highly recommend entering through the front during your first playthrough, as the story will make a lot more sense. The initial area has two small buildings. We enter the closest of the two on the left, and here we encounter our first audio recording.
Did you try turning it off and on again?
That's not funny, Delaney. I can't do anything. It's as if something has completely overwritten our code. It's all gibberish.
Then just restore the backup.
I know what I'm doing. That didn't work either. The code's being overwritten in real time.
You think it's them?
I thought so too at first, but no. Access to the system is only possible from our base. Besides, they'd die too. The cloning module is on their end. But to use it, at least one of them would have to survive. Turning off all of the turrets is basically suicide.
I wasn't talking about FHS.
Then who? Oh, you think? No, they're just animals.
They don't behave like animals to me. They're a weapon. Whose weapon? I don't know. But that's how we should look at them.
That's frightening.
Lock yourself in here.
The two people talking are both security personnel from Clever Robotics, tasked with protecting this research facility. One muses that perhaps FHS is behind the shutdown. However, the other seems certain that it's the vermin themselves. Are they possibly intelligent enough to shut down security systems on their own? That's all of them. There's little to be found in the second building aside from one messaging terminal. This terminal tells us of the incredible new plant known as blood fern. It reads as follows: the regenerative capabilities of the blood fern are incredible. If broken off, it immediately falls apart and a new version quickly grows back in its place. The only thing that slows down its growth is being burned by Ruptura. This makes research difficult because it's hard to isolate a sample, but if we could get a genetic sample and isolate the growth genes while eliminating the decomposition defense mechanism, we could find a cure for the world's food problems and break the monopoly of claywood algae farms. But that's far in the future. We have months of research ahead of us. For now, everything that we learn about blood fern is highly classified, and leaking any information to our colleagues at Clever Robotics is forbidden.
Stable.
Quinn Ellis. Facility. Future Health Solutions, which has the researchers currently studying the blood fern, and Clever Robotics, which are supplying security. However, the two groups don't always work so well together. From here, you can make your way to the second area of this facility. However, be warned that after regeneration phase, this area is crawling with vermin. There's even Goliaths and Flingers to be found in this area. But similar to other large alien creatures, a single shot from behind is enough to take care of them.
Do you really need that much energy just to study plants?
What's the problem? Isn't that why you're here?
It's just that all this energy attracts a lot of aliens.
Then increase security. You're bothering me for this? That's your job.
Security's fine. We're just using up a lot of ammunition, which is costing our company a lot of money.
That's interesting, because new sleeves for your people also cost a lot of money. Don't bother me with nonsense.
It's not nonsense. We're trying to optimize the mission.
From what I've heard, you didn't come here to optimize. You're here to ensure we have the right working conditions. Logistics, energy, and security. Do I need to talk to your superiors about your complaining?
You don't have access to my superiors.
I don't. But my superiors do. And who's got more money riding on this?
I didn't come here to fight. You don't have to get all up in arms about it.
You're pulling me away from my research. Come back.
This device cuts off abruptly just before the end, but it makes clear that even the leadership of the two organizations don't exactly see eye to eye on their mission. In the second area, you'll notice two buildings, one red for Clever Robotics and one blue for Future Health Solutions. There's not much of interest on the first and second floor of the Future Health side. However, once you get to the third floor, you find a locked door that requires a red keycard. If you travel over to the second floor of Clever Robotics, you can find said keycard and then return to the first room. The third floor itself has little of interest, but if you make your way up to the fourth floor, there's a quick email letting personnel know that doors are to remain open from now on, and there's another locked door that requires 3 keycards to enter. We'll have to return to this one later as well. Before continuing our exploration, we find another audio device in the corner of this floor. We take a quick listen before hopping back down.
It's locked again. It's not normal, Quinn. But every time I want to grab some biofilament, I need to go all the way to someone from Clever Robotics.
Technically, the warehouse is part of their base.
Yes, but half the stuff in there is ours. Can't we just open it?
I'll talk to Delaney. I don't care, but you know how they are. I doubt they'll go for it. They're probably afraid we'll go in and steal their super special secret data.
You got me. I've been planning for years to steal their most precious design. The piece of wire that the drones fly around on.
Now you're just being mean.
But
It's too bad he failed.
We can now move into the third area. There are 2 small buildings here, and one of them has another recorded conversation.
Hey, why'd you call me?
It's not gonna work.
What?
They saw through your research. The wheat isn't going to be fit for consumption, and isolating the particular gene responsible for growth isn't going to be possible.
Why not? It'll just take a little more time.
Breakthroughs like that don't happen overnight. They tested the samples. I don't know the details of the results, but isolating the gene isn't possible. The plant is already fighting back at that level. The information is broken up into different sequences.
That's impossible. Why would a plant need a mechanism like that? Evolution doesn't work that way.
Ramon, I don't know the details. I'm just telling you what I know from FHS.
Nonsense. I'll wait for the results.
They'll send them in about 2 weeks. I'm just saying what I found.
Here we learn that Dr. Ramon Diaz had submitted a research paper and samples of the blood fern to FHS. However, he's told at this point by his boss that his research paper has notes that are simply impossible. Diaz insists that they wait for the real results to come back before jumping to conclusions. While you're here, you can also grab the second keycard that you'll need for the locked room. The second building in this area has another computer with a message to one of the personnel on the Clever Robotics side. It seems to be directing them to keep an eye on the research that Future Health Solutions is doing, and it reads as follows. From Clever Robotics to Blake Richardson. We still haven't received any information on what's going on with FHS. Don't forget why you're here. From the Clever Robotics Crisis Department. And then in response, from Blake Richardson, I've managed to get the research results. I'm not an expert, but I think this information is important. He is then directed to send what he has to Clever Robotics. We're finally able to move on to the fourth and final area. There's not much to find here aside from the third card for the locked room and the research notes from Dr. Ramon Diaz. He says in his notes the following. We have a breakthrough. All research indicates that we are able to isolate the gene responsible for the blood fern's growth. Scientific hypothesis. These plants accumulate energy from Raptura and use it to expedite their growth. After injecting the gene pool into wheat seeds, we were able to cultivate a strain that entered its mature stage in only 2 hours. They are easy to cultivate on Earth. They might not even need greenhouses. Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself, but I can already see red fields scattered over the world. I took the liberty of starting a scientific article. And then Future Health Solutions responds, we are very pleased with your research. We await further. Continue sending us your work and send us samples. We found out from our previous entry that Dr. Ramon Diaz was possibly either wrong or lying about the research that he did here. However, we can't be certain. It could also be FHS that's not telling the truth. However, none of this matters for now, as we finally have our third card and we're able to head back to the locked door. We enter it to find an audio comm, a computer, and a dead body slumped next to a table.
Great.
First, we access the computer, and there we find a sinister message from Clever Robotics to Blake Richardson, their mole on the inside. Attached is a virus. Put it into the system. No one who knows about Dr. Diaz's research can survive. An evacuation transport will arrive in 2 days, and the virus will activate in 3 days. All formalities with FHS have been taken care of, and your hands will be clean. Thank you for your dedication. The additional credits granted to you will fully cover the cost of your son's sleeve. They will be transferred to your account as soon as you begin your evacuation. And then finally, we hear a somber message from Blake as he follows orders and is surprised at the speed of the virus.
Open the damn door.
Where are you?
By the main computer.
Why?
I needed to get something, but the door's shut behind me. Can you open it?
Oh, fuck. Blake, the security system went down. That's why the door is locked. Stay put.
What do you mean it went down? Just now?
Yeah, I'll talk to Riley. Don't panic. We'll get you out of there. Over and out.
It's down? Hello? Hello? Fuck.
The final chapter of this tragedy leaves us with a couple of interesting questions. Firstly, earlier we had speculation from the security team about if the vermin themselves had been smart enough to turn off the security system, which now we know it was Blake Richardson with Clever Robotics that did it. But what had the security team seen that made them think the vermin had this sort of intelligence? Was it just paranoia? However, we have seen aboard the Forgotten Engine that the vermin do seem to act with a sort of above animal level intelligence. But this also leads us into our second question. Why was Clever Robotics so insistent that everybody that had seen Dr. Diaz's research had to die? Diaz had stated that this plant grew very rapidly and was nearly indestructible and could only be stopped by the Raptura effect. However, couldn't Clever Robotics simply evacuate everyone and check for samples before the evacuation? Or was there something about this plant that was so insidious that they had to make absolutely sure that nobody in that research station survived? Or there could be a more mundane explanation. Was Clever Robotics acting in defense of Claywood Industries and the monopoly that his algae farms had on the food supply? This could be another reason that they wouldn't want Blood Fern taken off-world, but for now we don't know. How about you? Do you have any theories of your own? Perhaps there's something obvious that I missed during this playthrough. Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to ring your bell. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you with the next one.